Listen to me. I need you to hear this with your heart, not just your ears. Life is going to hit you. Life is going to break you, confuse you, shake you, and test you in ways you never imagined. But keeping your head up is not just about confidence. It's about confidence, about survival. It's about refusing to let life steer your vision. Because when your head is down, all you see is the ground. But when your head is up, you see the destination. You see the possibilities. You see the future. Some of you right now, you're tired. You're tired. You're tired of the problems, tired of the pressure, tired of carrying a weight no one sees. But hear me clearly, you were not built to break. You were built to rise. The reason life is hard is because you're strong enough to handle hard. Every time you keep your head up, you tell the world, I'm still standing. Every time you keep your head up, you tell your pain, you will not win. Every time you keep your head up, you remind yourself, this storm is temporary, but my strength is permanent. You've got to believe that what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. You've got to trust that everything you're going through is preparing you for what you asked for. You prayed for growth. Growth requires pressure. You asked to be strong. Strength requires resistance. You want success. Success requires sacrifice. So keep your head up, even when you're walking through failure, even when people betray you, even when the circumstances make no sense. Because the moment you drop your head, you drop your attitude. And when you lose your attitude, you lose your altitude. This is your season to rise. This is your moment to shift. Don't let a bad day convince you got a bad life. Don't let the struggle make you forget your story. Don't let fear make decisions that your face should be making. Lift your head, square your shoulders, look life in the face and say, I'm built for this, because you are and you always were. When your head is down, your vision is gone, and most people don't even realize how much damage this simple posture does to their spirit, their confidence, and their ability to move forward in life. When your head is down, you're trapped in a small world. Your pain, your mistakes, your fears, your doubts. You see nothing but the ground beneath you, and that ground represents everything that has gone wrong, everything that hurts, everything that scares you. But life requires vision. Progress requires vision. Success requires vision. Your dreams demand that you look up, because nothing great has ever been built by someone staring at the floor. So hear me clearly. When your head is down, your vision is gone. And without vision, you cannot rise. You cannot fight. You cannot win. See, the reason this is so important is because it affects more than just how you look. It affects how you think. Your head position controls your mindset. When your head drops, your mindset follows. You start thinking small, feeling small, living small, living small. When your head goes down, your energy drains. Your confidence dissolves. Your hope weakens. It's impossible to see a way out of your struggle if you won't lift your head to look for it. So many people spend years in darkness, not because they have no opportunities, but because their head has been down too long to notice the doors opening right in front of them. You can't see a sunrise if your eyes are glued to the dirt. You can't see a new beginning if you're focused on what broke you. And some of you right now, you've been walking through life with your head down because life got heavy. Maybe someone hurt you. Maybe you failed at something that mattered. Maybe you're surrounded by people who don't believe in you. Maybe you feel like everything you touch goes wrong. But the problem is every day that passes with your head down, you're training yourself to survive instead of thrive. You're teaching your body and mind to accept defeat as normal. But listen to me. You were not built to live life looking at the ground. You were built to look forward, to look upward, to look toward the future that still belongs to you. When your head is down, you miss the details that matter. You miss the conversations that could change your life. You miss the opportunities that pass by quietly. You miss the moments of inspiration that come from simply observing the world around you. Your vision gets blocked. And when your vision is blocked, your potential becomes trapped. You can't move confidently toward what you cannot see. You can't chase a dream you can't visualize. You can't build a life you can't picture. Vision is everything. That spark of I can do this. That glimpse of something better is possible. That feeling of I'm not done yet. That's only available when your head is up and your eyes are open. But let me tell you something deeper. Keeping your head up is a mindset, not just a physical action. It means refusing to let circumstances dictate your posture. It means choosing strength even when you feel weak. It means deciding that no matter what you're going through right now, you will not walk like someone who has been defeated. When you keep your head up, you are showing light, showing your problems, showing everyone watching that you still have fight left in you. It's a quiet, powerful statement that says, I'm hurting, but I'm not done. I'm struggling, but I'm not quitting. I'm tired, but I'm not bowing. Think about every great leader, every champion, every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary. You never see them walking with their head down, even when they fail, even when they get knocked down, even when life crushes them. They lift their heads because they understand that the moment they drop it, the moment they surrender their posture, everything else collapses with it. The world will throw enough weight on you. Don't add to it by lowering your head. Don't help your problems defeat you by adopting the posture of someone who has already lost. When your head is up, something incredible happens. Your lungs open, your chest expands, your strength increases. Your spirit gets louder, your vision sharpens. You suddenly start seeing possibilities where before you only saw problems. You start noticing solutions you overlooked. You start recognizing blessings you ignored. You start believing again, even if it's just a little. And that small belief is enough to move you one step forward. One step becomes two. Two steps become momentum. Momentum becomes transformation. It all starts with lifting your head. Some of you think your life is terrible right now, but the truth is you just haven't looked up in months. You've been staring at your failure so long that you forgot you still have choices. You still have time. You still have power. You've been staring at your heartbreak so long that you forgot your heart can heal. You've been staring at your losses so long that you've ignored the strengths you gained surviving them. When your head stays down, you see only the pain. But when you lift it, you start seeing the lessons, the growth, the resilience. Lifting your head doesn't erase the struggle. It doesn't magically fix everything, but it changes how you carry the struggle. It changes how you respond to the chaos. It changes how you move through adversity. When your head is up, you walk like someone who still has a destination. You stop allowing negative thoughts to corner you. You stop allowing fear to control you. You stop letting shame make you shrink. You stop shrinking for people who don't even clap for you. Keeping your head up means refusing to be defined by your lowest moments. It means stepping into every day with the posture of someone who expects progress instead of pain. Someone who believes in solutions instead of staying stuck in problems. Someone who decides that no matter what happened yesterday, their eyes belong on the horizon, not the ground. Let me be honest. Life will give you every reason to drop your head. People will disappoint you. Goals will take longer than you hoped. You will fall short. You will feel lost. You will lose things you care about. But you cannot let these moments steal your vision. It takes courage to look up when everything around you says look down. It takes strength to look forward when your past keeps pulling you backward. It takes faith to lift your head when all you want to do is hide. But that courage, that strength, that faith, that is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. Every comeback story begins with someone who decided to lift their head and see beyond the moment they were in. Every breakthrough begins with someone who refused to look down any longer. Every new chapter begins when you choose to look at the future with expectations instead of fear. Vision changes everything, and you cannot have vision with your head down. So if you're walking through life carrying pain, carrying faith, carrying guilt, carrying stress, carrying heartbreak, lift your head anyway. Not because the pain doesn't matter, but because you matter more. Not because the failure wasn't real, but because your future is more real. Not because the struggle isn't heavy, but because you are stronger. Lift your head because the world needs to see what strength looks like. Lift your head because someone out there is inspired by you and you don't even know it. Lift your head because your story isn't finished. Lift your head because the next chapter requires vision, and vision requires eyes that face forward. When your head is down, your vision is gone. And when your vision is gone, your future becomes blurry. But when you lift your head, you reclaim your clarity, your purpose, your fight. You start seeing life as something you can shape, not something that happens to you. The world opens up. Opportunities return. Hope returns. Direction returns. And even if the road ahead is long, even if the challenges remain, at least now, you can see where you're going. So keep your head up. Because the life you want, the strength you need, the person you're becoming, they're all in front of you, not beneath you. Pain is temporary, but the strength you gain by staying strong lasts forever. And most people never understand how much truth is wrapped inside that simple line. Pain feels permanent when you're in the middle of it. It feels like the world is closing in on, like the weight on your chest will never lift, like the storm above you will never break. When you're hurting, every second feels like an hour, every day feels like a battle, and every night feels like a reminder of what you've lost or what you haven't achieved. But listen to me clearly. Pain lies. Pain exaggerates. Pain tries to convince you that this moment is your whole life. Pain tries to make its temporary presence feel eternal, but it's not. Pain will leave, but the strength you build from surviving it will stay with you for life. There are two types of people: those who run from pain and those who grow from it. Some people spend their entire lives avoiding anything uncomfortable. They avoid hard decisions, hard conversations, hard work, and hard truths. But the problem with avoiding pain is this: when you avoid pain, you also avoid growth. You avoid lessons. You avoid the very experience that shape you into someone powerful. Pain is a teacher. Pain is a sculptor. Pain is a trainer that squeezes strength out of you, often against your will. Pain shows you what you're made of, what you can handle, and who you can trust. It refines your character and gives you wisdom you could never gain from comfort. Comfort makes you soft. Pain makes you strong. When you go through something difficult, whether it's heartbreak, failure, loss, betrayal, disappointment, or just a season when nothing seems to be going right, it hurts so deeply that sometimes you question everything. You question your worth. You question your decisions. You question your purpose. You question whether things will ever get better. And that questioning, that vulnerability, that emotional cracking, that's where the transformation happens. Because when you're hurting, you have two choices: let the pain break you or let the pain build you. And if you choose to stay strong, even when you feel weak, even when you feel alone, even when everything seems hopeless, that strength becomes part of who you are forever. Think about every person you admire, every role model you look up to, every successful individual whose story inspires you. None of them got where they are without pain. Not one. They all went through seasons of struggle that nearly destroyed them. They all faced failures that shook their confidence. They all endured nights of doubt, fear, and frustration. But the difference is, they didn't let the pain define them. They let it develop them. Pain didn't make them weaker. It made them warriors. It taught them resilience, discipline, patience, and perseverance. It taught them to fight when everything inside them wanted to quit. Pain forced them to become stronger than their excuses, stronger than their fears, stronger than their circumstances. Pain is temporary because no storm lasts forever. Even the strongest hurricanes lose power. Even the darkest nights eventually turn into morning. Even the heaviest rain eventually stops. Your pain, no matter how intense, will eventually fade. It might take days, it might take months, it might take years, but it will fade. And when it does, you'll realize something powerful. You survived, you endured. You made it through something you once thought would break you. And that realization becomes fuel. It becomes proof that you are stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. But hear me well. The strength you gain from pushing through pain is not temporary. It becomes part of your identity. It becomes a weapon you carry with you into every future challenge. Every time you survive something hard, you build a deeper level of mental armor. You become harder to break. You become more confident in your ability to handle life. You stop being intimidated by problems because you've been in darkness before and still found the light. You stop being afraid of failure because you've already failed and come back stronger. You stop being controlled by fear because you've already walked through fire and didn't burn. Strength doesn't come from easy days. Strength doesn't come from comfort. Strength doesn't come from everything going right. Strength comes from pushing when you have nothing left. Strength comes from wiping your tears and taking another step. Strength comes from waking up when your mom tells you to stay down. Strength comes from believing in yourself when doubt tries to silence you. Strength comes from surviving what was meant to destroy you. And sometimes the pain you're feeling right now isn't even a punishment. It's preparation. You ask for success. You ask for greatness. You ask for a better life. And life responded by giving you challenges that would build the strength required to carry those blessings. You cannot carry big dreams with weak hands. You cannot lead others if you never learn to lead yourself through difficulty. You cannot claim greatness if you crumble at every obstacle. Pain is the preparation for the power you prayed for. Pain is the shaping process. Pain is the price of admission for a stronger version of yourself. Let me tell you something else. Pain reveals people's true character, yours and others. When you're hurting, some people will disappear. Not because you did anything wrong, but because pain makes them uncomfortable. Some people only love you when you're strong, when you're happy, when you're successful. But real people, real friends, real family, real supporters show up in the storm. Pain exposes who belongs with you and who was just passing through. The clarity you gain from that is priceless. Pain also teaches gratitude. When you come out of a difficult season, you start appreciating small joys you once overlooked. A quiet morning, a peaceful breath, a moment of laughter, a step forward. The things you once took for granted suddenly feel sacred. Pain deepens gratitude because it reminds you of what truly matters. But the most powerful thing pain teaches is self-belief. When you stay strong through something that felt impossible, you begin to trust yourself. You stop underestimating your abilities. You stop doubting your strength. You stop believing that you're weak or incapable because you have proof, real proof, that you can endure more than you ever imagined. And that belief becomes a foundation you carry for the rest of your life. There will be moments when the pain feels unbearable. Moments where you don't want to get out of bed. Moments where you question whether the fight is worth it. Moments where you break down, cry, scream, or feel lost. And guess what? That's okay. Staying strong doesn't mean pretending you're okay. Staying strong doesn't mean being emotionless. Staying strong doesn't mean never bending. Staying strong means you don't break. It means you don't quit. It means you feel the pain but refuse to let it control your outcome. Sometimes staying strong is not about being tough. It's about not giving up. It's about taking one more breath, one more step, one more attempt. It's about holding on when everything inside you wants to let go. It's about trusting that the future has something better than the moment you're in. Staying strong is choosing hope over despair, choosing courage over fear, choosing progress over comfort. And I promise you this, one day you're going to look back on this pain and realize that it made you unshakable. You're going to realize that the person you became because of this pain is someone you're proud of, someone wiser, someone tougher, someone more mature, someone with depth, someone with compassion, someone with discipline, someone with purpose, someone who doesn't crumble when life gets messy. One day the pain that feels unbearable now will feel distant. You will talk about it differently. You will think about it differently. You will think about it differently. You will see it not as the end of your story, but as the beginning of your transformation. Pain is temporary, but the strength you gain from refusing fold lasts for the rest of your life. So no matter what you're going through right now, don't run from the pain. Don't numb it. Don't hide from it. Don't convince yourself that you're weak because you're struggling. You're not weak, you're growing, you're being stretched, you're being strengthened. This moment is shaping you into someone extraordinary. Hold on, stay strong, endure the moment, push through the discomfort. Because when the pain fades, and the version of you that emerges will be unstoppable. And that strength, that inner power, that resilience, it will stay with you forever. Your posture determines your mindset. And even though most people never think about it, the way you carry yourself shapes the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you show up in the world. Your posture is not just a physical thing. It's a mental signal, an emotional language, a reflection of what is happening inside you. When your shoulders are slumped, your head is down, your body is folded, your chest is closed. You're communicating something to yourself and to the world. You're saying you're tired, defeated, unsure, afraid, overwhelmed. Your posture becomes a mirror of your inner chaos. But when you lift your head, push your shoulders back, expand your chest, and walk like someone who deserves to take up space, your mind shifts, your energy shifts, your beliefs shift. Your posture determines your mindset. Think about it. You cannot walk confidently with your body curled in on itself. You cannot think boldly when you're physically shrinking. The body teaches the mind and the mind teaches the body. They are connected. When you change one, you influence the other. If you've ever tried this, you know exactly what I mean. Stand tall, even for a few seconds. Suddenly, the weight you were carrying feels a little lighter. Your fears feel a little less intimidating. Your thoughts feel a little clearer. That's the power of posture. It changes the internal atmosphere, turns self-doubt into self-belief, panic into composure, fear into courage. It's why athletes stand a certain way before competing. It's why soldiers train to hold themselves with strength and alertness. It's why leaders carry themselves with an open stance. Posture is not an accident. It's intentional. It's strategic. It's a silent statement that says, I am here, I am capable. But when your posture collapses, so does your mindset. When you let your body fold, your strength folds with it. When you walk like someone who is defeated, your mind follows that message. Your posture is a broadcast. It tells your subconscious how to feel. You may not realize it, but your body is always sending messages to your brain. I'm scared. I'm tired. I'm confident. I'm strong. I'm overwhelmed. I'm ready. And your brain responds accordingly. If you walk through life with your head down, your body tight, your shoulders forward, you're teaching your brain to operate from a mindset of stress and survival instead of strength and possibility. But if you walk with your head high, your shoulders open, your stance firm, your body relaxed, you activate parts of your mind that make you more focused, more courageous, more stable, more empowered. Some people think mindset is only about what you tell yourself. But mindset is heavily influenced by what you show yourself. Your mind watches your body. It notices your posture. It listens to your breathing. It pays attention to your stance. When your posture is strong, your thoughts become strong. When your posture is weak, your thoughts become weak. This is why people who feel depressed often move slowly and sit with their heads down. Their posture reflects the emotional heaviness inside them, and it becomes a cycle. Poor posture creates poor feelings. Poor feelings reinforce posture. Breaking the cycle starts with the body. Your posture is also connected to your identity. When you see yourself as someone capable, worthy, and resilient, you carry yourself differently. You walk differently. You speak differently. But sometimes in moments of pain or failure, you forget who you are. And your posture reveals it. You shrink. You collapse into yourself. You move like someone who doubts their own power. But the beautiful thing is this. You can reclaim your identity simply by reclaiming your posture. You can remind yourself of your inner strength by standing like someone who has strength. You don't have to feel powerful to look powerful, and the moment you look powerful, your mind starts believing it. Your posture determines whether you approach life or retreat from it, whether you confront challenges or avoid them, whether you show up or shut down. A strong posture doesn't guarantee an easy life, but it guarantees you won't go through life as a passive passenger. It turns you into an active participant, someone who meets life head on, someone who holds their ground, someone who chooses courage even when fear tries to take over. When life hits you with disappointment, when someone betrays you, when you fail, when you feel ashamed or embarrassed, the most natural reaction is to drop your head. It's instinct. Humans have been doing that since ancient times. It's the body's way of signaling defeat or vulnerability. But you are not your instincts. You are not your fears. You are not your worst moments. When those moments come, you have to override the instinct to collapse. You have to fight it with posture. You have to force yourself to stand up straight, to lift your chin, to open your chest, even if everything inside you says. The moment you do, something shifts inside. Your fear doesn't disappear, but it becomes manageable. Evaporate, but it loosens its grip. Your sadness doesn't vanish, but it stops suffocating you. You rediscover your presence. You reclaim your ability to think clearly. You reconnect with your inner strength. Posture is not magic, but it creates the space for you to feel strong again, to breathe again, to think again, to move again. There will be times when life feels too heavy, times when your heart is broken, times when failure punches you in the chest so hard you can't even breathe. Times when the world collapses around you. In those moments, your posture will try to collapse as well. Don't let it. Stand up anyway. Stand even when you feel weak. Stand even when the tears are falling. Stand even when your confidence is gone. Because even in those painful moments, standing strong tells your mind, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm not done. Your posture in your darkest moment determines your mindset in your comeback. If you stay low, stay small, stay collapsed, you will stay in the darkness longer than you need to. But if you rise, slowly, painfully, stubbornly, you give your mindset a fighting chance, Your posture becomes a declaration of resilience. You're telling yourself that you deserve to rise, even if the world hasn't caught up to that truth yet. And don't forget this, the world responds to your posture. People treat you based on how you show up. When you carry yourself with strength, you attract respect. When you carry yourself with confidence, you attract opportunities. When you carry yourself with dignity, you attract people who recognize your value. But when you walk like someone who doubts themselves, the world often mirrors that doubt. Not because you're not worthy, but because your posture didn't communicate your worth. Your posture affects your ambition. When you walk tall, you think bigger. You dream bigger. You plan bigger. You become someone who believes they are capable of more. But when your posture shrinks, so do your goals. You settle. You stop believing. You allow fear to make decisions for you. And all of that starts with how you carry yourself physically. Success is not only about hard work. It's about showing up like someone who expects success. Showing up with posture that says, I'm ready. Showing up with the presence of someone who knows their path. Showing up like someone who belongs in the room. Your posture determines the tone of your life. It sets the internal temperature. It builds or breaks momentum. It elevates or lowers your standard. The strongest people, not always the loudest. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one who stands tall, quietly, with a posture of purpose. Someone who doesn't shrink even when they feel uncomfortable. Someone who holds themselves with dignity even when life is messy. Someone whose posture says, I'm going to make it, even if today doesn't look like it. Your posture is a promise to yourself. A promise that no matter what happens, you will not fold, you will not surrender, you will not live life staring at the floor. You will not let circumstances reduce your presence. Walk with your head high. Not because everything is perfect, but because you deserve to carry yourself like someone who matters. Stand tall. Not because life is easy, but because you are capable. Hold your posture with intention. Let your body speak strength, even in moments of weakness, because when your posture rises, your mindset rises. And when your mindset rises, your life rises. Your life rises. Keeping your head up is an act of defiance against everything trying to break you. And most people don't fully understand the power hidden in that choice. When life throws its worst at you, disappointment, betrayal, loss, failure, uncertainty, it's easy to collapse. It's easy to let your shoulders drop, your posture fall, your eyes sink. That physical reaction is natural. It's the body's way of saying, I'm overwhelmed. But when you choose to lift your head anyway, when you choose to stand tall, even when everything inside you feels shattered, that is not just confidence, that is rebellion, that is strength. That is you telling your struggle, you will not control me. Keeping your head up is not denial. It's not pretending everything is perfect. It's the refusal to let dark moments dim your identity. Every difficulty wants something from you. Pain wants your hope. Fear wants your courage. Failure wants your confidence. Stress wants your clarity. Every challenge tries to take a piece of your spirit. And the moment you drop your head, even for a second, you signal that it's working, that life is getting to you, that the pressure is winning. But when you lift your chin, even when you don't feel strong, you disrupt that pattern. You interrupt the negativity. You say, not today, not me. I'm still here. Keeping your head up is a statement to the world and to yourself that the story is not over. Life has a way of testing you in seasons you didn't ask for. 1 minute you're doing fine, and the next everything is falling apart. People you trusted walk away. Goals you were sure about fall through. Money gets tight. Opportunities disappear. Health declines. Friends turn cold. The world feels heavy in ways you can't explain. But those are the moments that define you, not the good times, not the easy seasons. How you stand in the storm matters more than how you walk in the sunshine. Anyone can look strong when everything is perfect. But keeping your head up when life is trying to break you, that's where true character is forged. Think about every time you felt broken before. Think about all the moments you thought you wouldn't survive, all the nights you cried, all the times you felt lost. You made it through. Maybe you came through slowly, maybe painfully, maybe not gracefully, but you made it. And whether you realize it or not, every time you push through a moment like that, you built something inside you. A piece of resilience, a layer of strength, a deeper level of understanding. You earn wisdom through struggle. You earn courage through hurt. You earn growth through pain. And now keeping your head up is not just a physical act. but a reminder of what you've already survived. When you lift your head in a difficult moment, you reconnect with your inner fighter. You reconnect with the part of you that refuses to quit. You reconnect with the version of you that doesn't settle. Because inside every person, no matter how defeated they feel, there is a warrior. Even if that warrior is tired, even if that warrior is hurt, even if that warrior is exhausted, keeping your head up wakes that warrior again. It tells them it's time to rise. It tells them it's time to push back. It tells them there's still more fight left, even if it doesn't feel like it. This world can be harsh. People will doubt you. Life will challenge you. Circumstances will shift suddenly. But you cannot allow the outside world to lower your inner standards. Your head being down doesn't just make you physically smaller, it makes you mentally smaller. When you keep your head down, you start to think small, dream small, hope small. You begin to shrink your potential to match your circumstance. But when you lift your head, you reclaim your vision. You remember your goals. You remember who you are and what you stand for. You step back into your identity instead of drowning in situations designed to knock you off course. Keeping your head up is also about resisting the influence of negativity. When bad things happen, the mind tries to spiral. It starts feeding you lies. You're not enough. You'll never succeed. Ooh, you'll never recover. Or no one cares about you. We should give up. But your posture can interrupt those lies. Your physical stance communicates to your mind, we are still in fight. The simple act of lifting your head tells your brain that you are not hopeless, that you are not powerless, that you are not defeated. It's a message of resistance against your own inner critic. People often underestimate how much energy the world takes from them. Jobs drain you. Family responsibilities weigh on you. Social pressure, expectation, comparison, failure. They all pull at your spirit. They try to make you doubt yourself. They try to make you crumble quietly. But keeping your head up is how you protect your energy, how you stay emotionally grounded. Because when your chin is raised, you can breathe fully. You can think clearly. You can see opportunity instead of obstacles. Sometimes keeping your head up is the only thing you can control. You might not control the situation. You might not control the people involved. You might not control the outcome, but you can control how you show up. You can control your attitude. You can control your present. You can control whether you collapse or rise. Many battles are lost simply because someone gave up mentally long before the actual fight ended. Keeping your head up keeps you in the fight. It keeps you connected to your purpose. And make no mistake, every time you keep your head up, you inspire someone else. You may not realize it, but someone is watching you. Someone is learning from how you handle adversity. Someone is gaining strength from your strength. Your resilience is contagious. Your defiance gives others permission to push through their own battles. Sometimes your courage will save someone else's hope. Keeping your head up is also a spiritual posture. It's a sign of faith, a sign that you believe something better is coming, even if you can't see it yet. A sign that you trust the process, even when the process hurts. A sign that you know the story doesn't end in pain. When you lift your head, you lift your expectation. You open yourself to new possibilities, new solutions, new path. You give yourself the chance to heal, to grow, to rebuild. There will be days when you don't feel strong enough to lift your head. Days when you feel defeated before the day even begins. Days where the weight is too heavy. That's when keeping your head up matters the most. Not when it's easy, when it's nearly impossible. That's when it becomes an act of defiance, an act of rebellion, an act of survival. Even if it takes all your strength, even if your neck feels heavy, even if your eyes are full of tears, even if you feel broken inside, lift your head. Not because you're ignoring the pain, but because you refuse to surrender to it. Not because everything is okay, but because you're choosing hope over despair. Not because you feel strong, but because you want to become strong. Keeping your head up is a promise to yourself. A promise that you will not let life's darkness dim your light. A promise that you will not allow temporary moments to define your entire identity. A promise that no matter how heavy the burden, you will not break your spirit. The world may push you, but you choose how you stand. The world may doubt you, but you choose how you believe. The world may try to break you, but you choose how you rise. So keep your head up. Not for the world, not for appearances, not for pride. Do it for your soul. Do it for your future. Do it for the version of you that refuses to be defeated. Do it because every time you lift your head, you lift your life. When you think about confidence, most people talk about it like it's something magical, something mystical, something that appears when life is good and disappears the moment things get hard. But listen closely. Confidence is not a mood, it's not a spark, and it's not something you wait for. Confidence is a decision. It's a choice you make every single day, especially on the days when you don't feel strong, when you don't feel motivated, when nothing around you is giving you a reason to believe. Confidence doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in discomfort. It grows in the moments where everything inside you says a stop, but something deeper inside whispers, try again. When you choose confidence, you're not choosing perfection, you're choosing courage. You're choosing to show up exactly as you are and still give everything you have. You're choosing to silence the voice that says you can't and turn up the voice that says you must. Think about the times in your life when you waited for confidence before taking action. How long did you wait? How many opportunities slipped away because you convinced yourself you weren't ready yet? That's the trap. People spend their whole lives waiting for a feeling that never arrives. They wait for magic. They wait for assurance. They wait for clarity, but success doesn't wait for you to feel perfect. It requires you to move even when you feel shaky. Confidence comes from actions, not thoughts. It comes from stepping into the unknown, being afraid, and doing it anyway. Every time you face something that scares you and choose to walk toward it, instead of away from it, you are building a foundation inside yourself that cannot be shaken no matter what happens externally. Confidence is a brick-by-brick construction project. Every decision, every try, every risk lays another brick in who you are becoming. But here's the truth most people don't want to accept. Confidence is a responsibility. You have to choose it even when you don't feel worthy of it. You have to choose it even when your past is screaming at you that you're not capable. You have to choose it even when you're tired, even when people doubt you, even when you doubt yourself. Because confidence is not about being the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. It's about refusing to let insecurity have the final say. It's about saying, I may not know how to do this yet, but I'm willing to learn. I may not be perfect, but I'm not giving up. I may not have everything figured out, but I'm still moving. Confidence grows every time you refuse to quit. It expands every time you choose effort over excuses. It strengthens every time you show up for yourself when the world isn't clapping. When your confidence comes from your choices instead of your emotion, you become unstoppable. Why? Because emotions change. One day you wake up motivated, the next day you feel drained. One moment you feel hopeful, the next moment you feel discouraged. If your confidence depends on your feelings, your life will be a roller coaster. Up and down, strong and weak, moving and stopping. But if confidence is a decision, you rise above the emotional waves. You start understanding discipline on a deeper level. You start showing up consistently. You start doing the work even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when it doesn't feel good. And over time, the world begins to see a version of you that even you didn't know existed. A stronger you, a wiser you, a braver you. People will ask you, how do you stay confident? And you'll tell them the truth. You don't stay confident. You choose confidence again and again. You choose it when people underestimate you. You choose it when you fail. You choose it when life throws something unexpected at you. Failure does not destroy confidence, quitting does. Mistakes do not destroy confidence. Believing they define you does. When you understand that every failure is just part of learning, you stop being afraid of taking action. The fear loses its power because your commitment becomes stronger than your doubt. You start remembering that every successful person you admire had moments where they felt insecure, where they questioned themselves, where they considered giving up. The difference is not that they were fearless. The difference is that they acted anyway. And let me tell you this, confidence is contagious. When you start believing in yourself, the world responds differently. People treat you differently. Opportunities come differently. Doors open differently. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. When you walk into a room with your head up, your shoulders back, and the energy that says, I belong here, people feel it. They might not understand it. They might not know your story, but they will respect the strength in your presence. You don't need to explain your worth when your actions already prove it. You don't need permission from anyone to decide that you're capable. Confidence is not arrogance. Alignment. It's the moment your belief finally matches your potential. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. Not about what happens to you, but about how you respond. You can choose fear or courage, doubt or discipline, excuses or effort, weakness or strength, confidence or insecurity. And here's the powerful part. You don't have to feel confident to choose confidence. The decision comes first, the feeling follows later. Just like going to the gym. You don't always feel like going, but when you choose to go anyway, the results show up after the work. Confidence is the same. It rewards consistency. It rewards effort. It rewards resilience. The more you choose it, the stronger it becomes. There will be days when your mind tries to drag you back into old patterns. You're not good enough. You're not ready. You don't deserve this. But you have to override that voice with action. You don't fight negative thoughts with more thoughts. You fight them with movement. Take a step. Send the application. Start the project. Practice the skill. Say yes. Try again. Stand tall. Show every action in alignment with your goals is a declaration. I believe in myself, even if I don't feel it yet. That's what real confidence looks like. Not loud words, but quiet consistency. And understand this. People will doubt you, criticize you, misunderstand you, and underestimate you. But their doubt does not decide your destiny. Their opinions do not determine your value. Their rejection does not reduce your worth. Confidence means you stop measuring yourself by what others see and stop measuring yourself by what you know. You know you're capable. You know you're improving. You know you're improving. You know you're willing to work. And if you know these three things, no lack of support can stop you. Confidence is a muscle. And just like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. But the less you use it, the weaker it becomes. So choose it. Choose it today. Choose it tomorrow. Choose it when it's hard. Choose it when you're scared. Choose it when you fail. Choose it until it becomes natural. Choose it until it becomes who you are. Because once confidence becomes your daily decision, nobody, not your past, not your circumstance, not your fear, can stop the person you are becoming. There comes a point in your life where you realize that the standards you set for yourself are the limits you place on your future. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they let their circumstances shape their expectation. They let a bad season convince them they deserve a small life. They let disappointment shrink their goals. They let fear lower their standards. But listen to me, nothing destroys potential faster than accepting less than what you were created for. When you let your environment dictate your expectations, you hand over the power that belongs to you. You start living based on what you've seen instead of what you're capable of. You start moving according to your past instead of your purpose. That mindset locks people into average. And average is not where greatness lives. Average is not where breakthroughs happen. Average is not what you were designed for. When you decide to raise your standard, everything in your life has to rise with it. Your discipline, your work ethic, your mindset, your expectation. You cannot expect a high-level life with low-level habits. You cannot expect success while surrounding yourself with environments that encourage mediocrity. You cannot expect breakthroughs while speaking the language of limitation. Setting higher standards means you hold yourself accountable, even when nobody's watching. It means you show up even when you're tired. It means you don't negotiate with excuses. You don't accept the bare minimum from yourself or anyone around you. And you don't let temporary circumstances convince you that your long-term goals are impossible. That's the problem with most people. The situation gets tough, so they lower the bar. They say, maybe this isn't meant for me, or maybe I should just settle for what I have. But greatness doesn't come from settling. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Breakthroughs don't come from lowering expectations. They come from raising them. You have to understand that circumstances are temporary, but standards are permanent. Circumstances will change. They always do. But when you lower your standards in a moment of weakness, you create a habit that follows you for life. You teach your mind that when things get difficult, quitting is an option. You teach your spirit that it's okay to shrink when pressure hits. You teach your emotions that they have permission to run your life. And once you allow that pattern to settle in, it becomes your default. The moment something becomes uncomfortable, you fall back. The moment something stretches you, you retreat. The moment success requires sacrifice, you step away. That's how dreams die. Not because the dream was impossible, but because the standard was too low to sustain it. A high-level standard forces you to grow. It forces you to evolve. It forces you to become the version of yourself capable of carrying the life you want. Because here's the truth. The life you desire requires a stronger version of you. It requires a more disciplined version of you. It requires a more focused, intentional, resilient version of you. And you don't become that person by lowering the bar. You become that person by raising it. When you raise your standards, you stop making decisions based on how you feel and start making decisions based on who you want to become. You stop allowing fear to drive your choices. You stop allowing doubt to dictate your path. You stop letting your environment define your future. Think of the people who inspire you, the ones you look up to, the ones who create extraordinary lives. None of them got there by accepting average. None of them achieved greatness by adjusting their expectations to fit their circumstances. They created a new standard and forced everything else in their life to align with it. They trained their mind to think differently. They trained their habits to support their goals. They trained their environment to match their ambition. They outworked the situation. They outlasted the problem. They didn't wait for better conditions. They raised their standard until the conditions had no choice but to bow, but they're persistent. And listen, raising your standards doesn't just change what you aim for. It changes who you are. It forces you to stop giving attention to things that don't serve your future. When your standards rise, your tolerance for negativity drops. Your patience for laziness disappears. Your attraction to distractions fades. You no longer entertain drama, gossip, excuses, or people who drain your energy. You become selective, not because you think you're better than others, but because you finally understand what you're worth. You start protecting your time, your mind, your goals. You begin to see that not everyone deserves access to your energy. When your standard is high, your circle becomes smaller, your priorities become clearer, and your focus becomes powerful. A low standard will always pull you backward. A high standard will always pull you forward. That's the difference. When you set a high standard, you create a gravitational force around your life that attracts better opportunities, better relationships, better habits, better outcomes. High standards signal to the universe, to your environment, and to your subconscious mind that you are serious about your goals. You stop asking for the bare minimum and start demanding excellence from yourself in every area. Your work, your health, your work, your health, your mindset, your actions, your consistency. And the moment you demand excellence, you start becoming excellent. But let me tell you the part most people avoid. Raising your standards is uncomfortable. It forces you out of routines you've gotten comfortable with. It challenges your excuses. It destroys your comfort zone. It exposes your bad habits. It makes you confront your procrastination, your fear, your inconsistency, your lack of discipline. That's why most people don't do it, because it requires self-honesty. It requires admitting that the reason you're not where you want to be isn't because of your circumstance, but because of your standards. And that kind of truth hurts. But it also frees you. Because once you realize that the power was always in you, you can take ownership of your life. You can take control of your path. You can make changes that actually lead somewhere. When your standard is high, you don't settle for average effort. You don't settle for almost. You don't settle for excuses. You don't settle for relationships that hold you back. You don't settle for opportunities that don't align with your purpose. You become committed to growth, intentional with your actions, and ruthless with your discipline. You don't allow yourself to operate at half power. You don't let yourself off the hook. You revisit your goals and raise the bar again and again because you understand that comfort kills ambition. Life will test your standards. It will throw challenges your way to see what you're willing to accept. Every setback, every disappointment, every failure is asking you one question. Are you going to lower your standards, or are you going to rise to meet them? And how you answer that question determines your destiny. You don't grow by avoiding pressure. You grow by surviving it. You grow by choosing strength over surrender. You grow by choosing discipline over comfort. You grow by choosing high standards even on the days where you feel low. The moment you refuse to let your circumstances lower your standards is the moment your life begins to shift. It's the moment you reclaim your power. It's the moment you step into the version of yourself you were always meant to become. It's the moment average becomes impossible for you. Because once you see your true potential, once you feel what it's like to live with higher expectations, you can never go back to living small. Raise your standards. Protect your standards. Live by your standards. Because your standards determine your future more than your circumstances ever will. Success is not a product of luck. It's not something that falls into your lap because the stars align or because someone decided to hand it to you. Success is a product of preparation, perseverance, and the willingness to push past every excuse that tells you we're not today. The truth is, most people never achieve their true potential not because they aren't capable, but because they give up too early. They quit when the pressure gets hard. They retreat when challenges appear. They stop believing in themselves when the path is unclear. And that's exactly why preparation matters so much. It's the armor that allows you to withstand the storms that life will inevitably throw your way. Preparation is what separates those who rise from those who fall. Preparation is what ensures that when opportunity knocks, you're not fumbling, you're ready. Preparation is not just about knowing the steps. It's not just about reading books, attending seminars, or listening to motivational speeches. It's about doing the work every single day, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or exhausting. It's about building a foundation that is so solid, so reliable, that nothing, no failure, no setback, no disappointment can shake it. Most people underestimate this. They think preparation is optional, something you do when you have time. But preparation is what makes the impossible possible. Preparation is what transforms dreams from ideas into reality. Preparation is what converts talent into achievement. Perseverance is the natural companion of preparation. You can be prepared all you want, but if you quit at the first sign of resistance, your preparation means nothing. Perseverance is about refusing to stop. It's about pushing forward even when the odds are stacked against you. It's about staying committed when everyone else walks away. It's about believing in your vision so strongly that every obstacle becomes a challenge to overcome, not a reason to surrender. The people who succeed are rarely the ones with the easiest path. They are the ones who endured the hardest roads with the most stubborn determination. Perseverance turns preparation into results. Without perseverance, preparation is wasted energy. With perseverance, preparation becomes unstoppable power. Every successful person has a story of failure before victory. Every person who achieves something extraordinary faced moments when giving up seemed easier than going on. They experienced rejection, disappointment, ridicule, and doubt. But the difference between them and everyone else is that they didn't quit. They understood that success isn't about avoiding obstacles. It's about pushing through them. They treated failure as feedback, not as a verdict. They treated setbacks as lessons, not as reasons to stop. And that mindset, the mindset that refuses to surrender, is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Discipline is another pillar that cannot be ignored. Discipline is choosing to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going your way. It's easy to wake up early when you're excited about life. But true discipline shows up when motivation fades. When your body is tired, when your mind is weird, when the world seems to push back against you, discipline is the force that keeps you moving. Discipline is what separates those about success from those who achieve it. It is what allows you to stick to your plan, follow through with your promises to yourself, and create consistent results over time. Preparation, perseverance, and discipline work together like gears in a machine. One cannot function without the other. Preparation gives you the knowledge, skills, and readiness to face challenges. Perseverance ensures that you stay in the fight when things get hard. Discipline makes sure that you act consistently, even when your emotions want to quit. And when these three align, you become a force that is difficult to stop. You stop depending on luck. You stop waiting for permission. You stop fearing the future. You move forward with confidence because you have built the mental, emotional, and practical capacity to handle whatever comes your way. But there's another layer that most people miss: the role mindset. Your preparation, perseverance, and discipline will only take you as far as your mind allows. You can have every skill, every plan, and every tool. But if you don't believe in yourself, if you doubt your ability to succeed, if you let fear dominate your decisions, none of it matters. A strong mindset is the control center that directs your actions, keeps you focused, and prevents you from being derailed by setbacks. It's the internal voice that says, I can do this when the world is screaming, you can. You can. It's the lens through which you see challenges as opportunities and obstacles as temporary, not permanent. Without a strong mindset, preparation becomes wasted effort, perseverance becomes frustration, and discipline becomes a chore. With it, they become unstoppable weapons. One of the most powerful aspects of preparation is that it builds confidence. Confidence is not arrogance, and it's not something you're born with. Confidence is knowing that you've done the work, that you prepared, that you practiced, and that you have the capacity to handle whatever comes. Confidence allows you to act decisively, to take risks, and to step into situations where others hesitate. It transforms fear into action. Confidence doesn't eliminate challenges, but it changes your response to them. And every time you prepare, every time you persevere, every time you act with discipline, your confidence grows. You start trusting yourself, trusting your skills, and trusting the process. That trust becomes a feedback loop that pushes you further, faster, and higher. It's also important to understand that preparation requires sacrifice. You cannot prepare fully if you are constantly seeking comfort. Success demands that you step out of your routine, push past your limits, and do things that are difficult or inconvenient. You will have to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. You will have to delay gratification. You will have to prioritize growth over ease. Most people fail because they want success without the sacrifices. They want results without paying the price. But the truth is, you cannot outrun effort. You cannot escape the work. You cannot skip the preparation. Those who understand and embrace the sacrifices are the ones who ultimately prevail. Consistency is another hidden ingredient. One day of preparation is not enough. One burst of effort will not carry you through life's challenges. It's the daily, repeated actions that compound into extraordinary results. Every small step, every practice, every bit of work builds momentum. And when momentum builds, the challenges that once seemed insurmountable start to feel manageable. Success is not the result of luck. It is the result of consistent, focused action over time. And the person who consistently shows up, even when they don't feel like it, develops a habit of excellence that cannot be undone. Preparation also teaches patience. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, the ability to wait, to endure, and to stay the course is rare. Preparation requires patience because results rarely show immediately. You must continue to improve, to practice, to hone your skills, to build your foundation, knowing that the payoff will come later. Patience is not passive, it's active endurance. It's the understanding that every step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goal. And those who master patience rarely panic when setbacks appear because they trust the process they have built. Every successful person you admire has a story of preparation. They didn't stumble into their achievements. They didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. They worked in silence. They endured hardships. They learned from mistakes, and they kept moving when others stopped. They understood that preparation is a continuous journey, not a destination. They treated every failure as a lesson and every success as a milestone, not the end. And that is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Relentless preparation coupled with unwavering action. Finally, you must understand that the most powerful form of preparation is self-belief. You must believe in your ability to learn, to grow, and to overcome. You must believe that the effort you put in today will produce results tomorrow. You must trust that every challenge, every setback, every obstacle is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Self-belief fuels action. It fuels perseverance. It fuels discipline. Without it, preparation is empty. With it, preparation becomes unstoppable momentum. So start today. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop hoping that someone will hand you success. Prepare, study, train, practice, learn, fail, adjust, persist. Keep showing up, keep moving, keep working on yourself. Every day you invest in preparation, you are building the life you desire. Every day you persevere, you are proving to yourself that you are capable. Every day you act with discipline, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your future. Success is not an accident. It is the result of intentional, persistent, and disciplined preparation, coupled with the mindset of someone who refuses to quit. And when you embrace that truth, you will discover a power inside yourself that cannot be stopped, a strength that cannot be shaken, and a destiny that cannot be denied. The power of persistence is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. People often confuse persistence with stubbornness, or think of it as a dull, repetitive effort that eventually fades into frustration. But true persistence is neither stubborn nor meaningless. It is an intentional, focused, and unwavering commitment to your goals, your purpose, and your growth, even when circumstances seem impossible. It's the ability to keep moving forward, to keep striving, and to keep believing in yourself long after everyone else has given up, long after your initial excitement has faded, and long after failure has tried to convince you that quitting is the only reasonable option. Persistence is not about luck, timing, or external conditions. It is about the relentless refusal to surrender, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Think about the times in your life when giving up seemed like the easier path. The days when the weight of your responsibilities felt unbearable. The moments when rejection stung so sharply that you wanted to retreat and hide. Most people give in at those times. Most people fold under the pressure and convince themselves they're done. But every time you choose persistence instead of surrender, you are building something inside you that cannot be taken away. Resilience. You are developing a mental toughness, a capacity for endurance, and a confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles that will serve you for the rest of your life. Persistence is not a temporary strategy. It is a lifelong skill. Persistence is born from clarity of purpose. The moment you understand why you are doing something, why your goals matter, why your dreams are worth the struggle, you gain the internal fuel to keep going. Without a clear purpose, obstacles feel insurmountable. Without a vision, setbacks feel permanent. But when your purpose is vivid and compelling, you are willing to endure hardship because the reward is bigger than the pain. The more clearly you define your why, the stronger your persistence becomes. Every setback becomes a lesson, every criticism becomes motivation, and every failure becomes a stepping stone instead of a roadblock. Purpose gives persistence direction. It gives it meaning. Persistence also requires patience. The world has trained us to expect instant gratification, immediate results, and overnight success. Social media reinforces the illusion that success is quick and effortless, but reality is different. Real success is a marathon, not a sprint. It is built slowly, methodically, and often painfully. If you give up too early because you are frustrated by the lack of immediate results, you will never experience the breakthrough that persistence can bring. The people who achieve extraordinary things are often not more talented than the average person. They are just willing to persist longer. They are willing to do the work when it's invisible. They are willing to endure the waiting period, the silent struggles, the invisible grind that most people refuse to endure. There is also an emotional component to persistence. It requires you to manage your emotions, to control fear, doubt, frustration, and discouragement. Life will test you, and every setback will attempt to weaken your resolve. Without emotional resilience, persistence becomes erratic. It fades when the going gets tough. But when you cultivate emotional strength, persistence becomes consistent. You can take failure in stride, learn from it, and continue moving forward without losing confidence or momentum. Emotional mastery is not about eliminating negative feeling. It's about not letting those feelings dictate your action. It is about standing firm in your commitment even when your heart wants to give up. Persistence is not passive, it is active. It requires more than just a showing up. It demands continuous effort, adjustment, and adaptation. You must evaluate your strategies, learn from mistakes, and refine your approach without losing sight of the ultimate goal. True persistence is intelligent. It is not mindless repetition. It involves taking feedback from failure, understanding what works and what doesn't, and improving with every attempt. The person who persists without reflection is like someone rowing a boat in circles. They are moving, but not progressing. The person who persists with strategy and awareness moves closer to their goal with every effort, no matter how small the steps seem. Persistence also has a cumulative effect. Every day you refuse to quit. Every time you push through resistance, every moment you overcome discouragement, you build momentum. That momentum compounds over time, and what once seemed impossible starts to feel inevitable. The small efforts, the minor improvements, the daily discipline, all of it adds up. The person who persists quietly, steadily, and consistently will eventually surpass those who relied solely on talent, luck, or initial bursts of energy. Success favors those who endure. Persistence, the vehicle that carries them there. It is also important to understand that persistence is contagious. Your refusal to quit can inspire others. When people see you facing adversity without giving up, they begin to believe in their own ability to overcome challenges. Your persistence creates a ripple effect, motivating those around you to raise their own standard, to push harder, and to refuse defeat. Leadership at its core is often persistence in action. The world respects those who stay the course when everyone else falters. And by doing so, you create an environment where success is not just possible, it becomes expected. Failure is not the enemy of persistence. Fear is. Fear convinces you to quit. Fear convinces you to settle. Fear convinces you that the struggle is too great. But persistence thrives when you act despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is taking action in spite of it. Every time you confront fear with persistence, you shrink its power. You teach yourself that obstacles are temporary and that your will is stronger than any challenge. Fear loses its grip on you because persistence becomes stronger than hesitation. Another critical aspect of persistence is self-belief. You must trust that your efforts matter, even when immediate results are invisible. You must trust that your sacrifices are not wasted, that every step forward is building a foundation for future success. Self-belief sustains persistence when external validation is absent. Most people quit because they allow temporary setbacks to undermine their confidence. But persistent individuals know that the path to achievement is rarely linear. They understand that success is forged in the crucible of difficulty, and they refuse to abandon their belief in themselves because of temporary obstacles. Persistence also teaches resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity stronger than before. Every time you face a challenge and refuse to quit, you build a mental toughness that prepares you for the next trial. Life will not be easy, and those who succeed are not those who avoid hardship. They are those who endure it, learn from it, and continue moving forward. Persistence transforms challenges into lessons and lessons into strength. It converts pain into fuel and setbacks into strategy. The person who persists becomes unshakable because they have proven to themselves that they are capable of more than they ever imagined. Time and again, the stories of great achievers show us the undeniable truth. Persistence is often the single most important factor in their success. It is not always the most talented who achieve greatness, but those who refuse to quit. It's not always the fastest who reach the finish line, but those who keep running when others stop. Every monumental accomplishment, every breakthrough innovation, every life-changing contribution is built on the foundation of persistence. Talent, intelligence, and opportunity matter, but persistence ensures that those qualities are fully realized. Lastly, persistence is an attitude, a philosophy, and a habit. It is a way of approaching life with the mindset that no matter how many times you fail, no matter how difficult the circumstances, no matter how steep the climb, you will continue. You do not surrender to the situation. You do not allow temporary setbacks to dictate your long-term vision. Persistence becomes who you are because it reflects your commitment to yourself, your dreams, and your purpose. When you make persistence non-negotiable, it transforms the trajectory of your life. You start to see challenges not as barriers, but as stepping stones. You start to see setbacks not as the end, but as preparation for your breakthrough. And in that mindset, success becomes inevitable. So never underestimate the power of persistence. It is the invisible force that moves ordinary people toward extraordinary lives. It is the quiet, relentless engine that drives you forward when everything else tries to hold you back. It is the bridge between dreams and reality, between struggle and achievement, between who you are and who you are capable of becoming. Keep moving, keep striving, keep believing, keep fighting. Because the moment you quit is the moment you guarantee failure. But the moment you persist is the moment you give yourself the chance to rise above, to achieve, and to triumph beyond what you ever thought possible. Life is a journey filled with highs and lows, victories and failures, joy and sorrow. Every person faces challenges that seem impossible, obstacles that feel unending, and moments when giving up looks easy. But in each of those moments lies a choice between surrender and resilience, between fear and courage, between despair and hope. Keeping your head high is not just a physical action, it's a symbol of inner resolve. It signals a refusal to be defined by circumstance and a declaration that no setback can diminish your spirit. Each moment you ride, each day you refuse to fold, you honor your own value and the dreams you carry within. Your life is yours alone, and nobody else can navigate your path for you. People will try to impose limits, impose fear, impose doubt, and impose failure upon you. But you hold power in how you respond. You can absorb negativity or you can rise above it. You can allow others' opinions to define your value, or you can define it for yourself. Every day presents a new chance to embrace courage, to hold your head, and to move forward with resolve. Every failure is a lesson in disguise, a signal to improve, a chance for growth. Life rewards those who refuse to yield, those who choose perseverance over ease, those who understand that inner strength is forged only in moments of difficulty. To walk with your head high is to embrace responsibility for your own success. It means refusing to blame circumstances, refusing to seek excuses, refusing to allow fear to govern your decision. You acknowledge that challenges exist, but you do not allow them to dominate your spirit. You acknowledge pain, but you do not surrender to it. You acknowledge limitations, but you do not define yourself by them. In doing so, you create a life guided by purpose, clarity, and vision. You begin each day with resolve and carry it forward with unyielding focus. Every experience, whether painful or joyful, carries wisdom. Every setback carries lessons, and every failure carries insight. Your ability to take value from each moment, your ability to rise after a fall, your ability to keep your head high, even when the world seems against you, shapes the essence of your character. People may applaud you for success, but the real victory lies in the process. The countless hours of effort, the repeated choices to rise, the quiet moments where nobody was watching, and the inner dialogue that reminded you of your worth when doubt screamed louder than hope. That inner dialogue, the constant affirmation of your own strength, is the foundation upon which all achievement is built. Keep in mind that nobody will walk this journey for you. Guidance, support, and encouragement from others are valuable, but real change begins from within. Self-reliance is not arrogance. It is recognition of your own capability and power. You are responsible for how you react, how you grow, and how you define your own narrative. Each decision to face challenges head-on, to maintain composure in chaos, and to rise after a fall reinforces your internal power. You cultivate a mind that sees opportunities where others see obstacles, hope where others see despair, and growth where others see failure. The world will test your resolve over and over again. Life does not operate according to fairness, and challenges do not arrive in convenient forms. Sometimes it may feel as if the odds are insurmountable, as if every action you take is met with resistance, as if every step forward is paired with 2 steps back. But it is precisely in these moments that your head-high mindset shines. By refusing to succumb, by refusing to bow, you define your essence not by the trials you face, but by your responses to them. Courage does not emerge from ease, it emerges from opposition, adversity, and struggle. Every time you choose resilience, you forge inner strength that cannot be diminished by circumstance. The journey of life is long and unpredictable. There will be moments of confusion where the path ahead is unclear. There will be moments of fear where your heart questions your capacity. There will be moments of loss where pain threatens to overshadow hope. In all such moments, holding your head high is an anchor. It grounds you, stabilizes you, and aligns you with your purpose. It signals to your own mind that you are capable, that you are deserving, that you are capable of overcoming. Confidence grows not from ease, but from repeated acts of courage, repeated choices to rise despite difficulty, repeated affirmations of one's own value. Every individual who has achieved greatness shares this common thread. They refuse to allow external pressures, setbacks, or criticism to define them. They faced failures, endured hardships, and confronted fear without surrender. They understood that each step, no matter how small, carried significance. They understood that perseverance, resilience, and courage are not traits reserved for a select few, but are cultivated through repeated choice. In the same way, your ability to keep your head high, to walk with dignity, and to face challenges with courage will define the trajectory of your life. To embrace a head-high approach is also to embrace hope. Hope is not a passive wish. It is an active decision to believe in possibilities even when evidence is scarce. Hope fuels resilience, strengthens courage, and energizes action. Hope allows you to see beyond the immediate difficulty, beyond failure, beyond pain, and to envision the growth, success, and fulfillment that is possible. Each decision to maintain hope is a decision to reject despair. Each choice to rise despite difficulty is a choice to affirm the value of your life and your potential. Moreover, keeping your head high influences those around you. Others will notice your resolve, your courage, and your refusal to be broken. Your actions, more than your words, will inspire. When others witness perseverance in the face of adversity, they are reminded of their own capacity to rise. Leadership, influence, and positive impact often originate not from status or wealth, but from the consistent example of inner strength. By walking with confidence, by facing challenges head on, and by refusing to bow, you become a beacon for others, showing that resilience is achievable, that success is attainable, and that courage can manifest in everyday life. It is also essential to embrace self-compassion. Holding your head high does not mean ignoring your emotions or suppressing vulnerability. It means acknowledging pain, acknowledging fear, and acknowledging doubt, while refusing to allow these forces to govern your life. Every individual experiences moments of weakness, moments of uncertainty, moments of despair. To walk with a head-high posture is to acknowledge these moments, learn from them, and rise above them. It is the integration of vulnerability and courage, pain and hope, doubt and resilience that produces strength of character. A key element of this mindset is discipline. Discipline allows consistency, allows growth. Daily choices, small acts of persistence, repeated efforts toward improvement. These are the bricks upon which success is built. Holding your head high is not merely symbolic. It is reflective of inner discipline. Your posture mirrors your mindset, and your mindset drives your action. When you cultivate consistency in effort, courage in adversity, and hope in difficulty, your external achievements naturally follow. The journey is not easy, and it is never devoid of challenge. Life will continue to test resolve, provoke fear, and challenge dreams. But the way to succeed lies in embracing these moments with courage, with dignity, and with perseverance. Each obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Each failure is a chance for learning. Each moment of difficulty is a call to rise, to reaffirm purpose, and to act with resilience.